I always thought that being a good mother meant never showing any sign of regret, that my love and care for my children would cover every mistake I had made. I built my life around my family, always smiling in public and offering warm words to anyone in need. But deep inside, I carried a secret that weighed on my Sula secret I had locked away in the darkest corners of my heart. Many years ago, when I was young and overwhelmed by fear and uncertainty, I made a decision that I believed was the only way out. I ended a pregnancy, convinced that I was not ready to face the responsibilities of motherhood at that time. I never spoke of it, and I buried my guilt beneath a facade of happiness. The secret festered quietly, and though I tried to be a loving and devoted mother, I could not shake the lingering feeling that a part of me was lost forever. One crisp autumn evening, as I was preparing dinner and tucking my children into bed, a sudden, excruciating pain gripped my chest. I thought it was just another bout of stress, but soon the pain grew unbearable. I collapsed in the kitchen, and the next thing I knew, I was surrounded by worried faces in a hospital room. The doctors worked frantically to save me, but as the minutes passed, I felt myself slipping away. In the midst of this chaos, I closed my eyes and felt an odd sense of calm, as though I were being gently pulled from the world I had always known. I found myself drifting in a place that was both dark and strangely silent. It was not the comforting embrace of sleep or the familiar warmth of life, it was something else entirely. I was floating in a vast, shadowy space where time seemed to stand still. At first, I was filled with confusion and fear, wondering if this was the end. But as I began to look around, I noticed details that I could not ignore. I saw flickering images of memories from my life, moments of laughter with my children, quiet afternoons in the garden, and even the times when I had cried in solitude over my hidden regret. These memories mingled with strange visions of shadows that moved in the distance. I slowly realized that I was witnessing something far beyond what I had ever imagined at a place of torment and sorrow. The space around me darkened, and I began to see shapes emerging from the gloom. At first, they were vague and indistinct, but soon they became clear. I saw small, fragile figures with eyes full of sorrow and longing. They were the souls of unborn children lives that I had never been able to hold, whose potential had been snuffed out by the secret I had kept. Their faces were filled with a deep sadness that pierced my heart like 1,000 needles. I could feel their pain and their silent plea for recognition. As I moved closer, my heart pounded with a mix of fear and overwhelming regret. I had never truly faced the weight of that decision. In this place, there was no hiding behind busy days or forced smiles. There was only raw truth and the unfiltered consequences of every choice. I reached out, trying to touch one of the small, ghostly figures, but my hand passed right through, as if they were made of mist. The air around me grew colder, and a heavy silence settled over the space, punctuated only by the distant echoes of crying and pleading voices. In that moment, a soft yet firm voice echoed through the darkness. "Mercy was waiting, but you never asked," it said. The voice was neither harsh nor cruel. It carried a sorrowful compassion that made my heart ache with remorse. I realized that all those years I had tried to ignore the consequences of my actions, to bury my guilt so deep that I pretended it did not exist. Now, confronted with the faces of the lost souls, I felt the full weight of my secret. Every day of my life had been a delicate balance between love for my living children and the hidden grief for the ones I had lost. I had never sought forgiveness or tried to understand the true nature of my decision, and now I was forced to face the endless sorrow that came with it. I wandered further into that desolate space, where the shadows of regret clung to every corner. I saw other women, their faces marked by the same quiet despair, their eyes telling stories of decisions made in fear and isolation. They were mothers who had made choices under pressure, choices they had never fully confronted. Their silent cries resonated with mine, and I began to understand that I was not alone in my pain. The realm before me was filled with souls burdened by secrets and remorse, all waiting for a chance at redemption, a chance that I had once taken for granted. In this strange and painful journey, I felt an urge to speak, to cry out for forgiveness, even though I had never asked for it in life. I whispered into the darkness, "Please forgive me. I was so scared, I didn't know what else to do." My voice trembled, carrying the raw truth of my regret. The sorrowful presence around me seemed to listen, as if acknowledging my pain and my desire for redemption. The small faces of my unborn children looked at me with a silent plea, and for a moment, I felt a glimmer of hope that perhaps I could still find a way to make things right. As I stood there, enveloped by the heavy presence of all that I had lost, I began to understand the deeper meaning behind that mysterious voice. Mercy had always been available, but I had never allowed myself to seek it. I had been too proud, too afraid, to admit that I was broken. I had believed that being a good mother to my living children was enough, but now I saw that true love required acknowledging every part of my heart, even the parts that hurt the most. The realization was like a surge of light breaking through a dark cloud, and I felt a stirring inside me, a desire to change and to atone for the unspoken pain I had carried all those years. Just as the overwhelming sorrow threatened to consume me, I felt a gentle pull sensation of being lifted upward, away from the realm of darkness. I knew that this was not the end, but a chance to return to life with a deeper understanding of who I was and what I had to do. The vision of my unborn children, full of silent grief, remained etched in my mind as I was slowly drawn back into the world of the living. In a blinding flash of warmth and light, I awoke in a hospital bed, my body trembling and my heart pounding as I tried to process the journey I had just experienced. The hospital room was quiet, filled with soft beeping of machines and the gentle murmurs of concerned voices. I looked around and saw my family by my side, me living children, whose faces were a mixture of relief and worry. In that moment, I realized that I had been given a second chance, a rare opportunity to seek the forgiveness I had long denied myself. The memory of the dark realm and the sorrowful faces of the lost souls was vivid and haunting, a reminder that my secret could no longer be ignored. I knew that if I were to truly live as a mother and as a human being, I had to confront the hidden part of my past and seek redemption not only for myself, but also for the silent voices that had once been silenced forever. In the days that followed, I found myself changed. Every moment carried a new significance, a chance to make amends and to live a life filled with genuine compassion and understanding. I began to share my story with those who would listen, not to provoke pity or judgment, but to offer a warning about the dangers of hiding the truth inside our hearts. I sought the help of counselors and spiritual advisors, and I slowly learned to forgive myself for the choices I had made in my youth. I came to understand that true healing began when I embraced every part of my life, even the painful chapters that I had once tried so hard to forget. I reached out to women who had experienced similar pain, and together we talked about the difficult choices we had faced. In our shared stories, we found a kind of redemption or realization that our mistakes did not define us, but our willingness to seek mercy and to change did. I dedicated myself to helping others find the light in their own darkness, to understanding that every hidden secret was a chance for growth if we were brave enough to face it. I became an advocate for honesty and compassion, urging others to listen to the quiet voices of their hearts and to never be afraid to ask for forgiveness. Every day, as I care for my children and live out the second chance I have been given, I carry the memory of that dark realm with me. It is a constant reminder that even the deepest, most hidden secrets can be brought into the light and healed through sincere remorse and genuine change. I know that I cannot undo the past, but I can shape the future by embracing the lessons of my journey. I now live with a heart that is open to forgiveness, both for myself and for others who struggle with their own hidden regrets. That experience taught me that mercy is always available, but it requires the courage to face our own darkness. I have learned that the path to redemption is not easy, and it is filled with moments of intense pain and sorrow. But it is also a path that leads to true healing, to a life where every act of kindness, every sincere word, can help mend the wounds that we carry within us. I am forever changed by what I have seen, and I strive each day to honor the silent voices of those lost souls by living a life filled with compassion, truth, and love.